December 19th is drawing a lot of attention for millions of Social Security recipients across the United States, and today's update is especially important because many seniors are hearing talk about two checks hitting accounts around the same time. In this video, we are going to slow everything down, explain what is really happening, and help you understand whether this applies to you, why it is happening, and what you should be watching for so you do not miss any money that you are entitled to receive. This is a calm, clear, and honest update meant to help you feel informed and confident about your benefits, not confused or worried by rumors. As we move through December, the Social Security Administration is finishing one of the busiest payment periods of the year. December always looks different from other months because it includes regular monthly benefits, adjusted payment schedules, end-of-year processing, and preparation for the new benefit year. For some people, this creates a situation where two payments can appear close together, or even within the same week. When seniors hear phrases like two checks or double payment, it can sound alarming or exciting, but the truth is more practical and grounded than the headlines suggest. To understand why December 19th matters, we first need to talk about how Social Security payments are normally scheduled. Social Security retirement, survivor, and disability benefits are paid based on your birth date. Some people receive their payments early in the month, some in the middle, and some later. Supplemental Security Income, often called SSI, follows a different schedule and is usually paid at the very beginning of the month. When a payment date falls on a weekend or a federal holiday, the payment is moved to the nearest business day. This simple rule is one of the main reasons December can look unusual. December 19th is a key date for a large group of Social Security beneficiaries, especially those whose birthdays fall later in the month. For these individuals, the December benefit is scheduled right around this time. Now, here is where confusion begins. Some people who receive both Social Security and SSI, or who recently switched benefit types, may see two deposits close together. These are not bonus checks or extra stimulus payments. They are scheduled benefits arriving earlier than usual due to calendar adjustments. Another important factor this year is the transition into the new benefit year. Cost of living adjustments, often called COLA increases, are finalized and prepared at the end of the year. While the increased monthly amounts officially apply starting in January, the administrative work happens in December. This can sometimes result in notices, updated statements, or deposit timing that makes it appear like something extra is happening. For seniors living on a fixed income, even small timing changes can feel significant, especially when rent, utilities, food, and medical costs are all rising. Many seniors are also asking whether there is a new stimulus payment included in December. As of now, there is no universal federal stimulus check approved specifically for December 19th. However, some individuals may receive additional funds due to retroactive adjustments, underpayments being corrected, or state-level assistance programs that coordinate with federal benefits. These situations are highly individual and depend on your personal benefit history, income level, and recent changes to your case. It is also important to talk about pensions and how they interact with Social Security. Some retirees receive a pension from past employment along with Social Security benefits. In December, pension systems often process year-end payments, bonuses, or adjustments. When a pension deposit arrives close to a Social Security payment, it can feel like a double benefit moment. While this can be helpful for budgeting, it is important not to assume that this will continue in future months. December is unique, and January usually returns to a more standard rhythm. Another reason December payments feel different is because many seniors carefully plan for the holidays. Extra expenses, travel, gifts, heating costs, and medical needs all tend to increase at this time of year. When a payment arrives a little earlier, it can feel like a financial relief, even though it is technically the same money you would normally receive later. Understanding this helps prevent financial stress in January, when there may be a longer gap before the next deposit. Scams and misinformation also increase around this time. When people hear talk of two checks, scammers use that language to target seniors with false promises or urgent messages. It is extremely important to remember that legitimate Social Security payments are automatic. You do not need to apply again, confirm your bank details through unsolicited messages, or pay any fee to receive your benefits. If you receive a message claiming you must act immediately to get a second check, that is a red flag and should be treated with caution. For those receiving SSI, December often includes an early payment for the following month if January 1st falls on a holiday. This can result in two payments arriving in December, one for December itself and one representing the January benefit paid early. While this can be helpful, it is very important to remember that this does not mean you will receive another payment in January. Budgeting carefully is essential so that money lasts through the entire month. Veterans receiving VA benefits sometimes experience similar timing patterns, and while VA payments are separate from Social Security, many households rely on both. December can create a sense of overlap, but again, this is usually about timing rather than extra funds. Knowing this ahead of time allows seniors to plan responsibly instead of being surprised later. As we continue through this update, the key message is clarity. December 19th is important because it represents a normal scheduled Social Security payment date for many beneficiaries. For some, it may appear alongside another deposit due to calendar shifts, SSI rules, or pension timing. This does not automatically mean a new stimulus or bonus payment, but it does mean you should pay close attention to your account, your benefit notices, and your budget. In the next part of this video, we will go deeper into who is most likely to see two deposits, how to tell what each payment represents, what changes are coming in January, and what practical steps you can take to protect your income and plan ahead with confidence. Understanding these details can make a real difference in your financial peace of mind as the year comes to a close. As we continue this December 19th Social Security update, it is important to focus on who is most likely to see two deposits and how you can clearly understand what each payment represents. For many seniors, the biggest source of stress is not the amount of money they receive, but uncertainty. When deposits arrive unexpectedly or close together, it can raise questions about whether something has changed, whether a mistake was made, or whether action is required. This part of the update is meant to remove that uncertainty and help you feel in control of your benefits. The group most likely to see two payments in December includes people who receive supplemental security income along with another type of Social Security benefit. SSI follows a strict rule that payments are issued on the first of the month, unless that date falls on a weekend or federal holiday. When January 1st falls on a holiday, the SSI payment for January is sent at the end of December instead. This means some SSI recipients will see their regular December SSI payment earlier in the month, and then another SSI deposit later in December that actually belongs to January. This is not extra money, and it does not mean benefits have increased twice. It simply reflects the calendar. Another group that may notice closely spaced payments includes individuals who recently applied for benefits and were approved after a delay. When the Social Security Administration finishes processing a claim, it may issue a retroactive payment covering months that were missed. If this retroactive amount arrives near a regularly scheduled December payment, it can feel like two checks. While this is good news for those catching up on owed benefits, it is still a one-time adjustment and not a recurring situation. Some seniors may also receive a one-time correction for underpayment. These corrections happen when the agency reviews records and finds that a beneficiary was paid less than they should have been in previous months. December is a common time for these adjustments because the agency works to close out accounts before the new year. If you receive such a payment, it will usually be clearly labeled in your deposit description or accompanied by a notice explaining the reason. It is also important to talk about the upcoming cost of living adjustment and how it connects to December payments. While the increased monthly benefit officially begins in January, many people receive their notices in December. Seeing a notice about a higher amount can cause confusion if the December deposit does not match the new figure. This is normal. December payments still reflect the old rate even if the paperwork arrives before the year ends. The higher amount will appear in the January payment cycle. For seniors who rely on both Social Security and a pension, December can bring overlapping deposits that create the impression of a double benefit. Some pension plans issue a year-end payment or adjust their schedule around holidays. While this can provide short-term relief, it is important to recognize that January may feel tighter if expenses were increased based on a temporary cash flow bump in December. Budgeting is especially important during this period. When two deposits arrive close together, it can be tempting to treat one as extra money. The safest approach is to identify which payment belongs to which month and plan accordingly. Setting aside funds meant for January expenses can prevent financial strain later. This is especially critical for rent, utilities, prescription medications, and insurance premiums that do not adjust their timing just because payments came early. Another critical issue to address is overpayment risk. In some cases, individuals who receive income-based benefits may worry that receiving two deposits in 1 month could affect eligibility. Generally, early payments that represent a future month's benefit do not count as extra income for that month. However, it is still wise to keep records and review any notices you receive. If something does not look right, addressing it early can prevent complications later. Seniors should also be aware that bank processing times can vary. Even if payments are scheduled for December 19th, some banks may show the deposit earlier or later depending on their internal systems. This does not mean the payment amount has changed. It simply reflects how financial institutions handle incoming funds. Checking your account calmly and giving it a little time can help avoid unnecessary worry. As the year ends, it is also a good time to review your benefit information. Make sure your mailing address, bank account details, and contact information are up to date. Changes in the new year can sometimes lead to delays if records are outdated. Taking a few moments to ensure everything is correct can help ensure smooth payments in January and beyond. Looking ahead, January is when most seniors will officially see their updated monthly benefit amount. This adjustment is designed to help keep up with rising costs, but it does not always cover everything. Being realistic about what the increase means for your monthly budget is important. December's unusual timing should not be used as a measure of what you can expect long term. As we wrap up this update, the most important takeaway is understanding. December 19th is a regular Social Security payment date for many people. Seeing two deposits in December usually reflects calendar timing, benefit type combinations, or one-time adjustments, not a new stimulus program or permanent increase. Knowing this allows you to plan wisely, avoid scams, and manage your money with confidence. Staying informed is one of the most powerful tools you have as a beneficiary. When you understand how and why payments arrive, you can make better decisions, protect your income, and reduce stress. As we move into the new year, keeping this knowledge in mind will help you start January on stable financial footing, knowing exactly what to expect and why it matters.